Hello folks, today we're going to be talking about concealed vertical rods and none other than the Yale and Corbin devices in this case. I'm going to show you hopefully some tips and some tricks and hopefully a few things that may get you out of a jam. I've worked on a lot of these, so hopefully this is useful for somebody. Let's get to it. Okay, let's get right into it. Dealing with Yale and Corbin devices, this happens to be a Corbin. Generally speaking, we'll pull this cover off first thing and just give it a quick once-over look at. Make sure it's not missing clips and whatnot. So we'll get into some of those little details a little later in the video. Generally speaking, I like to test the top latch first. So in that case, I would just press the panic, observe the top latch, hold the rod assembly in place, and then I'm going to try to just push this down with this finger here. And if I'm allowed to push this down and it releases, then the top latch is toast city, and or it's not adjusted right. But if it holds and you're able to overcome it, generally speaking, that latch is no good. Here's a case of that exact situation where you operate it, it appears to hold itself, but if you try to force it, it's dropping. This one just happens to be hanging onto this, but generally speaking, this failure will allow the whole rod to drop completely. And usually what that'll be is an intermittent case where this will drop when you open the door, and then it'll just sit there and not latch because this will dead latch against the frame and just sit there. So if you can force that open, this latch is no good. And you know, you can lubricate it if it starts working and you can't force it, go for it. But otherwise, you need to get one of these coming. Here's a new latch, and you can see when you operate this guy, it gets to the end and it's there, and you can't pull it off. It's there, and you see no movement in it. So I would be able to pull hard on this, and it's not going to let me have it. So that's when you need to replace that. A lot of times you have issues with the strike and the latch mating each other. So when the door closes, this is going to be your strike plate. It's going to have spacers on it to get it correctly related to the latch. And when it closes, it's going to activate that release, and we're locked. And sometimes what will happen is this strike plate will be so low down below here, it'll actually get hooked behind the release mechanism. So then what happens is when you try to exit, the strike is stuck and you can't get out. So in that case, you would want to adjust the height of your strike, and or look at the shimming of the door. The door may be wedged open incorrectly, and now it's sagging into the opening. So you got to shim it back into the opening so that the strike actually lines up correctly with the latch. All right, so there's that. Another thing that you can look for a lot of times is when you get up on the ladder and you're inspecting that mating, you're going to grab the latch and move it. If this is where it's mounted and you can do this, that latch needs to come out because these screws are either missing or loose in this case, just like this. This is a disaster waiting to happen. So I see this a lot when I pull these apart. So definitely take a peek for that. Here is a different type of concealed vertical rod latch for Yale Corbin, and this I see a lot on big giant doors. And what happens is this little activator gets all bent from just general door slamming, and sometimes these can be saved. And so you can take this guy and give it a little how do you do, make it as straight as you can. If you need to get one coming, go ahead. But in the meanwhile, you can at least maybe get this one latching. And let's see, not dead latching yet. Let's see if we can get this straightened out a little better here. A little extra. Oh, nice and flat. Should look about like that. Let's see. Come on, you hooker. Oh. So this latch has double problems. So this pin's drifted out because the clip is gone, and that's another thing you can look for when these guys. If I can get this to line up, it'll dead latch itself. Click, boom. All right. So there you go. There's another thing to look for is this pin. If this E-clip comes off and this guy drifts out, you're not going to be dead latching. So that'll be another telltale sign for you to look for. But this guy is saved. You find an E-clip and you'll be in good shape. Otherwise, get yourself a latch. Sometimes you got to order parts. When you're looking at a strike, this is what it should look like. It should have a roller on it. If it doesn't have this roller on it, you best be getting a new strike, because this is needed for when you exit. And that roller rides against the back side of the latch, and that's what gives you that smooth depression when you're on the way out. That's this roller operating against the latch face. And when this roller is gone, you're just going to be bind city, and it's going to be hard to push when you're trying to get out. It's going to be hard to push. Another reason for a hard push is the bottom rod is actually bound in the hole and preventing the top latch and the strike from doing their little mate roll. We're going to get you in. I'll bring you in down here a little closer, and we'll talk about actually adjusting these rods. Now, when we're talking about Yale and Corbin, we're dealing with a lifting system. Von Duprin has a draw where the top gets pulled and the bottom gets pulled together. On a Yale and Corbin, it's a lift system, so everything gets drawn in the same direction. So when you're adjusting this, you have to keep that in mind. So let's say, for example, we'll pretend like these are attached, right? Let's say, for example, that you're pressing the panic and it keeps falling. You press it and it falls. You press it and it falls. So what's happening is you're not quite getting full latching of the unlock mechanism. So it's just hitting to there and then it's falling out, hitting to there, falling out. So that means you need to make this rod longer in order to get more activation out of it. So what you're going to do is come in here and loosen your set screw. Click that baby loose. Give it a couple how do you do's. And then we're going to get our flat and come in here and make the rod longer. And to do that, in this case, we're going to back this out, and that's going to make this longer. And if you also notice, there is flat sides on this screw adjuster. How interesting, because I don't know how many folks don't know this, and they like to set the set screw right on the round side, and then now you're in not so happy mode trying to adjust this rod. Adjusting your top latch, if you think you're going to just back this guy out into oblivion, like you got this whole 2 inches of adjustment, you're going to be pretty pissed off, because what's going to happen is this is going to be in here inside the door, and you're going to adjust this all the way up thinking you're getting all this movement, but it's going to end right here anyway. This is going to bottom out, and you can see when I actually pull this across here and press this device all the way, there's not enough room for this to operate this far. So don't think you have this much adjustment. You know, unless you want to get wild and just grind this out so you can move this further. Just pull the latch out, screw the latch down onto this, in or out, whatever you got to do. If you're at the end of it this way, you're trying to make it too long. So you're going to unscrew the latch, you're going to unscrew the rod off of this to make it longer. And then you'll get your adjustment back, and you'll be able to get in there what you need to, you'll be able to tune them. But in which case, you get this adjusted, you add a little length to it, now you're going to get more stroke, and that's going to be what you're looking for. Now you got to pay attention that you're not overstroking this. When this ends, when it gets to the end, that's it. That's the end. That's as far as it moves, and you don't want to be trying to push it past. If you walk up to a device and you press it and it ends early and you're not allowed to push it all the way in, that device is overstroking the top latch, and you need to address that. And then you would be shortening this rod in that case, which would be screwing this in. And we're going to find it. There it is. And we would screw this in, find a flat spot, and land it on it. Till we get this releasing. At the end of the stroke of the panic device is at the end of the stroke of the latch, and that's where they want to land. Once you have those two happy working together, go ahead and move on to the bottom latch. And then when we move on to the bottom latch, I have this one set up for the case of a missing clip. Underneath here there's a clip that holds this piece to the adjusting nut screw. And this one, the clip is missing, and that does happen. Usually I see it more on the top latch, and that's why your top latch isn't holding, because that clip is gone, and when you're depressing, it's not actually lifting the way you think it's lifting. So this is just a case to show you what to look for when that clip is missing. That clip looks something about like this, and you know, it's an E-clip, and it clips inside here and holds that together. When we're dealing with bottom rods, often I see try to adjust it, and we're raising the rod. Actually, this would be down because the clip would be in place, and you would watch this be shrinking as you tried to raise the rod as far as you could raise the rod. And now we're at the bottom. Now what do? You can't raise the rod anymore. Well, if your top latch is adjusted, and this is as high as you can raise your bottom rod, and your rods are still dragging, you need to take the door down. And it might look something like this. But that's the nature of the beast. And you know, when you happen to have that door down, you just may happen to examine the bottom rod in the process and find out someone's already had it out and done some kind of fix on it. And this guy's working all janky because it's just not the right thing. And you can see this rod's all damaged from working sideways. Generally, it's supposed to look like this with a roll pin on through the whole thing. And this has some nice fluid movement to it. And it's not going to be fighting you. But otherwise, if you get this adjusted to the end and that's all you got and you're still dragging, you're going to have to take this out and unscrew this or screw it in. It's not going to be this easy, just so you know. And but generally it'll look like this-ish, and then you're going to want to shorten it. And shorten it the distance plus a little extra of what you don't have here. That way you have a little adjustment room when you get the thing hanging again, and you can't just add a little more to it. In a case where you get some schmuckdoodle sets the screw on the round side of your adjuster here, here's the fix. You get your lubricant, you spray some lube in here. If it's WD-40, go ahead and throw that in the trash and find something that's actually useful. And then get your trusty impact with a big flat on it, and go ahead and softly, carefully pop and pop and pop and pop and pop, and in and out as much as you can. It's probably not going to turn because it's going to be locked up. So you're just going to tap on it with your impact. Tap, 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 tap. Debris will probably work its way out of there from these threads, and just wipe that up and keep lubing. And I have saved these adjusters doing that trick. So if you have a frozen adjuster because somebody set it on the round side, you could probably save it. If you're dealing with a Yale, you're not going to have this kind of purchase on the adjuster screw, and it's going to have a weird cap screw with a weird flat on it. What I do is I'll take my tip like this, and I'll take the biggest one I got, and I'll just notch the sides off of it on each corner so that it will fit into the Yale adjuster but still be meaty and get some good pressure on it, because the Yale ones are definitely not as forgiving as the Corbin when it comes to fixing a damaged set screwed situation. Well, it looks like my first video's a wrap. If you like this sort of thing, click the like. If you want more of this, subscribe and do the bell thing, because I'll make new videos. If you have a piece of hardware you want me to do a video about that you like this kind of material on, leave it in the comments below. Thanks for watching.